I was getting kind of my classic week supplies, just the whole milk organic yogurt, the broccoli, carrots, the fruits and vegetables, and I definitely always pick up at least a couple of cheeses. And I guess I got bananas that day too. Then I got in line. I got back pretty far, and I'm just slowly doing that little scooch with the basket. I looked out the window. That store's got these big windows in front. You know, it's a fairly busy street. It's fairly well lit, but it was just dark. It was just darker than usual. And then, through the darkness, I started to see vast, never-ending ice. That's what I was seeing, standing in line as I waited. And this was the real surprise. Out of this darkness, a light started to form. It wasn't like the sun rising, it was like it just started up high in the sky, blasting through these windows. The sun came out at night. I must have looked bizarre because I had, you know, my arm up over my eyes, just trying to block this light. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I mean, is everyone else seeing this? People are just on their cell phones, they're texting. I said to myself, you know what? It doesn't matter if people are seeing this or they're not. I'm going to go outside to be part of this. I start to make a move, and then I realize that I'm going to lose my place in line. You know, my eggs were all in the basket at that point, you know, 20 minutes in, and even though I was looking outside and saw in the pure darkness through the Arctic void, a sun appeared, I thought, I'm not going to lose my place. It just was such a conflict. Just as I was trying to make that move, the light went away.
This doesn't sound like anything that has to do with what our store is doing, other than we have a long line.
I mean, that line, it just, you think you're coming to the end of it, and you come around a corner and you realize that it's actually, you know, it's they've snaked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of our, if not our busiest store. Yes.
Because yeah, you have employees that specifically are line wranglers, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, to be honest, at that time, I was going through something of a stressful time in my job. And being in your store, it brought a lot of that up for me because I brought my job home, or in this case, I brought my job to your store.
As you can see now, we are getting colder because it's the door is icing down, but the next door will be much more iced down when we enter the minus 18. But now we are entering what is the interesting part. This is built big enough to could take care of all the seeds in the world that are used for food production, because this is a vault for seeds for food productions. And then the door gets all frozen. So then we have to, and I have this lock spray in my car because it can be frozen down. So in here we only go when we bring visitors and when the Nordic Gene Bank are here to put some new seeds in. And it is built like this to keep the cold inside and the warm outside. So that is why we're entering two doors to enter the seed vault. Now we go into the deep freezer. If you have been into the vault and someone stands on the outside, puts a gun to your head and says, "Take me in here." I would say it's very difficult to bring explosives up here. Of course, a gun, it's quite easy to bring, and there's lots of guns on the island because you have to have it for the polar bear protection. Nigeria, Brazil, Ukraine, Zimbabwe, quite some almost. Here are some from Tajikistan. I think also quite homemade boxes, but they work. Some more from USA, more Syria, Germany, some more India, Canada, Kenya, Mexico, India, really a lot from India, more from Mexico. The whole idea behind it is to have a backup. If something goes wrong with a gene bank somewhere in the world, we lose the seeds. This is supposed to be like just a storage. Here you just store them for when things have really gone wrong and you don't have an access to your seeds at all anymore. Last September we had to take out about 1/3 of the Syrian collection because that the gene bank in Aleppo had then been destroyed during the civil war in Syria. You can't be buried here because if you die up here, and that happens in accidents and stuff, you can't bury the body because of the permafrost. The first building they built after the war is built with a cellar. That is not smart because we have to have a cooling system in that cellar to make the ground around it cold. They found out quite fast that was not a smart way to build houses up here. Some of my friends said, "Wow, are you going to move up there? Aren't there just cold winter and polar bears and nothing happens?" But it's really a fantastic place to live in. Now we have the midnight sun. The midnight sun starts on the 19th of April and lasts until the 24th of August. From the middle of November until the end of January, it's all dark here. It's like the middle of the night, 24 hours a day. We also have this fantastic cultural life here. I play both saxophone and big band. I sing in a choir. We have all these fantastic training facilities. So you really should have some more spare time. But we will never reach a perfect world, and I think we have to start living well, that we are here and we are now, and we have to just do the best of it. The most important thing is to have other people around you. You don't function as a human being without having contact with other human beings. I think that is the most important thing. Even if you lived back in the 1850s, if you live now, or if you live in 2200, I think that the part of being a part of a society, having other people around you, that is the most important thing. Well, I feel it in my stomach every time I'm down here that, wow, this is something that you are responsible of taking care of. This is your responsibility, that this is safe, this is cool, this is kept like it's supposed to be. But I think that is quite good as well, because this shall never be a place that you think of, well, this doesn't, it's just a job, because this has to be a little more than just a job. You have to like feel that, well, this is really important to take care of, not just an, yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours north of the Seed Vault. It's an old Russian mining settlement. It's called Pyramidin, which is now something of a ghost town because it was abandoned for years. And now, like, a small number of people live in the hotel there. And, you know, I mean, it was something that was built, probably had its heyday in the 50s or the 60s. Kind of the nuclear era, which, you know, clearly has come back in a big way, as we both know. And these buildings, they're crumbling. But, you know, they were once community centers, a movie theater, a beautiful basketball court, and even the iconography and the design. I mean, some of the Russian design, it's spectacular. Have you ever been to Russia?
I have not.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing with my job. So much of this is me just getting footage sent to me from all of these wonderful, beautiful places and just thinking, I'm never going to see it. Everyone is familiar, you know, with the sense that there is an end, and it is coming. I mean, of course, everyone knows that. I don't know. It feels like it's kind of, it's a code I'm trying to crack.
Right. Yeah, but again, I don't think anyone here can help you crack that code. Sounds like something you would, you know, either have to figure out or not. I don't know what you saw, so I can't speak to that, but I only am here to take information about the long line, not whatever you experienced in it.
I mean, I mean, I'm just looking for any kind of interpretive dialogue at this point, you know, just to kind of get
I suggest maybe a therapist or psychiatrist or something.
Would they have to specialize in food?
Maybe lights and colors.
Like it's light, color therapy? You know, what do you, I guess the question is, what do you personally think about this reverse eclipse that I witnessed?
I don't know, but it's not something that a grocer can break down for you. We can't tell you what to think of it.
Just, you mean like a kind of corporate policy, or you mean more like personally?
No, this is a personal thing that happened to you. We're a grocery store. We sell groceries. I can't tell you what happened.
I guess
It sounds like a personal journey.
It absolutely is. You know, it just so happened that this very personal journey took place in this store. I absolutely understand it's probably outside of your job description. It's personal. My work has become personal.
Okay, hold on one second.